Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach. We know that helping your clients become the best and healthiest versions of themselves isn't just about what they eat or coming to the gym a few hours a week. We, as gym owners and coaches, have to focus on a holistic approach, looking at support systems, stress management, sleep, mindset, lifestyle, and of course, exercise and nutrition. I'm your host, Nicole, registered dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of The Basics of Nutrition Coaching, CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course. In this podcast, I'm going to teach you how to make one step at a time to becoming the best nutrition coach and building an awesome habit-based coaching program. Today's podcast guest is Joe Marcoux. He is the founder of SOS Dojo. SOS stands for Sales Objection System. A dojo is a place for members to not only train, but to spar and get real-time feedback so that you can increase your confidence during your sales process. We know that the best way to grow a nutrition coaching program in a gym is to have a solid front-end offer that encompasses nutrition, fitness, and accountability. In this podcast, we talk all about how to increase your confidence. We talk about some other things, not necessarily the words that you say, but your body language and how you say them. Today's podcast guest would be a great one to watch on our YouTube channel. I'm going to link it in the show notes if you found your way to the audio version wherever you listen to podcasts. So this was one of my absolute favorite episodes to record to date. I learned so much. We've actually started implementing some of the stuff that we talk about in this podcast at our HQ location, getting new people signed up for nutrition, fitness, and accountability at our gym. Not only did Joe help us during this podcast, but we are so excited that he is going to be joining us in Nashville, Tennessee for the Gym Accelerator Summit, formerly known as the HSN Live Workshop. In this 2.5-day live event, you will be immersed with gym owners and coaches who are all coming together to prioritize health inside of their gyms. Joe's going to be leading a sales training, giving real-time feedback to increase your confidence, getting people signed up for nutrition, but not only new people, but also increasing engagement with existing members. If you are ready to spend a weekend working on your business instead of in your business, we would love for you to join us at the Gym Accelerator Summit, July 13th to the 15th in Nashville, Tennessee. Click the link in the show notes to lock in your spot today. All right, let's get to this podcast with Joe Marcoux. Joe, welcome to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. So excited to have this conversation today.
I am fired up to be here. I'm standing up because I want to raise my energy. Can't wait to get into this with you, Nicole. Been looking forward to this.
You've helped a lot of people in our circle with the sales process. You know, gym owners that we work with, we're essentially having them double almost their front end offer because now they're incorporating nutrition. It's really uncomfortable for a lot of people. The sales process, especially for many gym owners who don't have a business background, is all over the place. For someone who is just now thinking, okay, I really need to redo my sales process, like what do you have to tell them?
Wow, this is loaded. Love it. So the first thing is everybody who's listening or watching this, here's the reality. You're an expert. And as an expert, it's easy to get caught up in your level of expertise and get caught up in the minutia. And doesn't it make sense that the people that are coming to you, they're coming to you as people? So what I want to do is I want to help you think about how you're approaching these people and what's your way of having a conversation with them. Like as I'm speaking to Nicole right now, I'm speaking to her as if she's like my sister. She's a friend. She's a family member. So let's just start from the beginning. When somebody walks in and they're not paying you yet, many people look at them as they're a prospect. And my suggestion is, doesn't it make sense that we look at them instead of a prospect or a number? Let's call them a guest. These people are my guest in my place of business, or for many of you, your place of business is your other home. So I think of when my grandfather, when I was just a little guy, and again, maybe I'm dating myself by saying this, my grandfather and my grandmother, they used to give up their bedroom when they had guests in their home. So the master bedroom was given up to their guests. Imagine that level of service to people that are coming in. So let's just start there. I look at these people as guests, not as prospects. And so before anybody buys from you anything, especially when it comes to the importance of nutrition, when it comes to health, wellness, fitness, exercise, and performance, it's easy to give somebody a great exercise program. And we forget that nutrition is something that you're doing outside of the gym. It's what's going to help you in terms of recovery, sleep, recovery, water. And this is a cornerstone. If I can help build rapport, then I can ask, doesn't it make sense if I ask the right questions and I can build rapport in that I earn the right to then tell them about my program? Like, how many of you that are listening right now want to help people so bad that you go into pitch mode and then all of a sudden you wonder, why didn't they buy? Because they need this. Have you ever experienced that, Nicole?
Yeah. And I think when you can sit down and listen to someone's problem, like truly listen to what is the struggle, what are the barriers of reaching whatever your goal is. Why have you not been able to do that on your own? You're able to bridge this gap between where they are, where they want to be, and guide them to the best option. But I think so many times, many gym owners or whoever's doing the sales process is ill-equipped to conduct a sales conversation. They don't feel confident, so they just start talking a lot. And then you tell them to sign up for your fitness facility, when in reality, the best option to help them is likely 10 out of 10 times nutrition, fitness, and accountability.
Exactly. And it's in that order. Nutrition, fitness, accountability. So if we can break that down, first things first, if I have my compelling offer that gives somebody a reason to want to come and visit, and then when they come to visit, and the come to visit part can start off on social media or start off with an incoming phone call or come in for that first meeting. And then I got to build rapport. They got to get to know you just as much as you definitely need to get to know them. Then what are the questions that you would ask? And then the list of questions, you can have literally a roadmap. And then that's part of we'll call it the science of it, or the step-by-step recipe. You can have a recipe all you want. Then there needs to be nuance where it's just, do I care about this person? So you can go off track, and that's normal in a conversation. It doesn't have to be all about the science of nutrition and the specifics about your program. You can start building rapport and relationship. And just always know, keep an eye on the clock, look back. Okay, I'm gonna reel it back in. And this is just a question of practice. And most people don't take the time to practice it. Then the steps that I call is like compelling offer first, build rapport, discovery. Then I do what's called a transition. I need to earn the right to pitch. So my transition is, in this context, I say, so Nicole, what I've heard so far is, and then I would recap. And it's okay. Like what I do when I'm on a call with people, whether it's live or if it's on Zoom, I hold my notebook and I take notes with people, and I let them see that I'm taking notes, because 55% of the way that we communicate is body language. So if you can see that I care and I'm taking notes and I'm listening and I take these notes and then I ask the question. So Nicole, is it okay that I can recap what I've picked up from you so far? And people go, sure. And then I go over what I've got and say, does that sound good? Okay. So then, would you like to know what the best options are for you right now, based on what you just told me? Who wouldn't want to know what their best options are?
I'm here. So, I'm taking the time out of my day to meet with you. Yeah, right. I want to know.
So now you can pitch, and then there's a way to pitch without sounding pitchy or pushy. And so you've asked this loaded question. What's the best way to go about this? The best way to go about this is with a sense of authenticity. And this is the balance of understanding that there's a process. Because what is sales? Sales is a structured conversation wherein the person who I'm speaking with, my guest, feels magnetized or compelled to want to give me money for what I have to offer. So they don't feel pushed into it. They feel like, Nicole, here, take my money. Let's go. Like they're motivated to do it. And so instead of thinking I want to get this person across the finish line to quote unquote close the sale, I like to invite you to think, hey, I want to help this person across the starting line so I can make a difference in their lives. That makes sense?
Yeah. I think it really comes down to, if you're looking to get people signed up for nutrition, fitness, accountability, truly building a nutrition coaching program in your gym, do you, as the person doing the sales, the front end offer, do you fundamentally believe that the best way to help them reach their goals is through nutrition, fitness, and accountability? And if the answer is no, then don't be giving that as your front end offer because you don't believe it.
Right. Right. I mean, and I come back to the importance of nutrition. Even when I started in the fitness industry at the age of 18, so man, we're going over 35 years. It's crazy. I was selling exercise equipment. The people that got the best results were the people that bought the equipment and took me up on the nutrition coaching that I offered way back then. And things have obviously evolved and changed, and so much to the better with, what I knew back then in terms of what I knew, what we know now, and people like you, what you know now. It's a completely different game, and people are able to get results faster. So of course, the magic pill that people want, right? When it comes to health, fitness, and looking good, feeling good, and performance, what do they want? If there was a magic pill, we all know that people would take it. There isn't one. And so what does it boil down to? It's the three tenets that you just mentioned. It's nutrition, fitness, accountability. And it's in that order. So yeah, they're coming to your gym. Great. Offer them that nutrition package up front, because they're not going to get the results if they're just coming in to exercise, even if they exercise to the best of their abilities. There's nothing that beats a great nutrition program.
I love it. The idea of this transition, I think, is really important. And if we can do this, you're going from the get to know you stage to, hey, I'm confident based on everything that you're telling me that I can help you get to where you want to be. Are you ready to talk about what that would look like?
Exactly.
And it allows you to literally transition the conversation to, let's talk about the options and let me guide you to the best option. So for those listening, go back a minute and listen to that transition or write it down. And if you don't have that, that's a really good actionable step that you can take away. I absolutely love that. So this roadmap idea and writing notes, and I do have actually a question for you.
Sure.
So let's pretend I'm in a free intro in person at your gym, and you're doing the free intro with me. I'm a prospect, or, a potential new person coming in.
They're a guest.
I'm a guest. Do you do those notes? Is it always handwritten, or would you do it on the computer?
My preference, again, this is just my preference. And folks, just take my information like spare ribs. You keep the meat and you throw away the bone. Okay. It's one of my lines from one of my mentors. He always used to say that, and I incorporate that as well. It's the way that I like to do it is, there's nothing wrong with having a clipboard with your questions written down on your clipboard. And again, because what that does is you have a sales template. So there's your roadmap. And knowing as well is the saying would be, Confucius say bad handwriting better than good memory. So yeah, you can have a computer. What's nice about some of these concepts that we like to provide in our program is, if I'm standing next to you, as opposed to sitting across from a desk, I would actually do a stand-up desk or maybe a bar stool type of concept where we're sitting right next to each other, and you can see what I'm writing down. So instead of me being across the desk from you, where it's you versus me, or if it's a table and it's not a round table, I would actually have it as like a round table, so there's no separation. We're next to each other. Then I would be shoulder to shoulder with you, and I would let you see what I'm asking, and I'm turning towards you, having that conversation. I know this sounds bizarre. Here's the reality. 55% of the way we communicate is body language. 33% of the way we communicate is our tone of voice. That includes whether I'm going in what's called legato mode, whereas I'm speaking with you right now, where everything's flowing together. And then staccato is when I want to make a point and I make my point. And these are things that are taught so that when you are having conversations with people, the words, which everybody says to me, hey, Joe, what happens when somebody gives me an objection like I need to speak to my spouse? And by the way, objections are going to happen no matter what business that you're in, especially if you're doing high ticket offers. you're going to have objections. And this is where we masterfully help you become a black belt in handling those objections. So no matter what happens, objections are normal. The question is, can I do objection prevention? The answer is yes. There's no such thing as objection elimination. You're going to have objections. And then, so coming back to your question, Nicole, standing with somebody, letting them see what they do. You can bring a laptop out if you're comfortable with that. The taking of quick notes, I just find it easier, because then if you tend to walk with someone, again, because everybody's process is different, it's easy. I don't want, some people will use an iPad or whatnot. I just like to, maybe I'm just the old guy on the call where I've got my pen and paper handy. It's just easy to scribble and do that kind of thing.
I like the idea of pen and paper too. That's what we do, because someone can see that you're not like typing up an email, or you don't get distracted by notifications or other things that possibly pop up on your computer. If you're doing notes on your computer, people know that you're fully engaged in the conversation and what you guys are talking about. So I
100%. And it's even on online, if you're whether you're in a gym or if you're offering services online, I take notes on paper, because the clickety click when I'm on a Zoom call with somebody, for example, it is distracting. And I've called people on it. Even one of my own coaches, I'm like, are you checking your stocks or your Facebook right now? Or are we having a conversation? And that was exactly his reaction. He started laughing, and I'm like, listen, I'm thinking it's for sure happening. It's for sure happening on the other end. So
I love that. So get a pen and paper out, have some questions, have a template to guide you, and use that to get started, especially if this is brand new for you. For people who struggle, you brought up objections, and I would love to just talk about one objection that we hear often. This is too expensive, or someone who's doing the sale is projecting that it is too expensive and they're not confident with the value of the service. How would you navigate that?
So handling objections is a skill, and skills, just like sales is a skill, skills need to be acquired. Skills need to be practiced. And here's the thing about sales. It's a perishable skill. So if you don't practice it, it goes bad, period. Sales is a perishable skill. So the sales objection system, which is SOS for short, is a two-step system. And I'm excited about coming to your event, because we're going to be practicing handling objections live for everybody that's going to be at the event. I promise you that you will not be bored. If you think I'm high energy here, just wait till you come and do it live. Nicole's got a great event coming up. It's in July
13th to the 15th in Nashville. We're so excited to have you.
It's going to be a blast.
Talk about objections, handling objections. One of the cool things when we first talked about that event, I said, hey, I want interactive pieces. I want some breakouts. I want it so people can walk away with real-time feedback and few steps more confident than trying to listen to just someone talking at them or an online recording. Like that's the benefit of going to these in-person events, is you get the real-time feedback. So I'm excited for you to be there.
Well, I am too. So this is exactly it. There's 4 things that you need to be able to develop mastery. You need a valid environment, what I call a safe place to make mistakes. So we have the SOS Dojo. It's a place where, just like in martial arts, people who are just getting started all the way to people that have a level, what we call the black belt level of ability. We mix everybody together, and you come in and practice like multiple times per week if you want, and you come and practice live. It's a safe place to make mistakes. So that's a valid environment. Number 2 is quality repetitions. You need multiple quality repetitions. Repetition is the mother of all skill. Number 3 is you need timely feedback. So we give course corrections. It's like, oh, Nicole, hang on, stop, back up. And we're going to call you on your body language. We're going to call you on your tone. We're going to call you on, hey, you know what? The words here, they're really in conflict, because if it's not in alignment with how you feel and how you think, just like you were saying, the salesperson is projecting something that feels off, then hey, there's something wrong here. And the 4th thing that you need to develop mastery is deliberate practice. In other words, you don't practice with somebody else who's not really an expert at this. You practice with somebody who's really good at it. So you don't have a white belt with a white belt. You don't practice with the family dog or the cat. You don't do it in front of the mirror. And sorry, folks, you don't do this with your wife or your husband or your significant other. You do this with a coach who's an expert, because otherwise, and I've seen this in gyms all the time. People get together, we're going to do a role play. And within 5 minutes, they're all horsing around and they're not taking it seriously and they're not getting to work. So when you step into our dojo, it's like, hey, we've got people here that are paying to be here and let's get to work, and we do it. And if you're not delighted, because we offer 100% delighted guarantee, we give you your money back. So to come back to your question, 2 steps to the SOS. Step 1 is we acknowledge the person that is giving us the objection. We never just jump right in, because I don't want you to be aggressive in your approach. I also don't want you to be passive. Okay. We need to find that level in the middle that's called assertive. You're the expert. You're the A-game authority. You're the A-game advisor. And I want you to be the trusted advisor. So I want you to hold that trusted advisor framework and also come in with empathy. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that are going to be from a body language perspective that will hold true. So give you the example, Nicole, here. I'm going to acknowledge step 1. And then step 2 is ask a question. So, wow, that's expensive. Go ahead and throw it at me like that, Nicole. Just go, oh my God, that's expensive.
That's really expensive.
So then I'm going to acknowledge you. I'm going to say, well, Nicole, thank you for letting me know how you feel. Right? Okay. Thank you for letting me know how you feel. I'm acknowledging you as a person. I could also acknowledge it like, Nicole, I really appreciate you sharing your opinion. Now, I never said, thanks, Nicole, or I agree with you. I never agreed with you. What I said was, thank you for letting me know how you feel. Okay. So I'm acknowledging you as a person. And body language here. Some people are active listeners. Like as you and I are speaking to each other right now, we're both nodding yes, correct? Mm-hmm. What we don't want to do is do this. Thank you for letting me know how you feel. What am I saying when I'm nodding?
Yes, it's expensive.
Right. So stop that. So what I want to do is I want to quickly go, well, thanks for letting me know how you feel, Nicole. Now what am I doing with my head?
No, it's not expensive.
It's not expensive. And yet I'm still polite, correct?
Yeah.
You getting where I'm going with this? So yes. This is, do you know how many people are making this error? This is huge. So when the picture and the sound don't match, the subconscious mind picks up on that, and all of a sudden we create friction, we create resistance. So what we do is we help you as the expert, the advisor, the person who cares so much about these guests that are coming in. We help you reprogram yourself so that you develop unconscious competence so that it happens automatically. You know exactly what to say, but more importantly, how to say it. More importantly, how to do it so that you come across as that assertive, trusted advisor. And then you ask the question. So let me put it all together. Nicole, thanks for letting me know how you feel. I really appreciate where your emotions coming from here. I'm just curious, what exactly are we comparing this to? Mm-hmm. And you notice where I came in curious. And if you looked at what I did with my head,
you tilted.
15, yeah. So when we come in straight, right, I'm in the authority position. I tilt my head by 15 degrees and I go right into empathy. And your body picks that up. Because think of it, when we're little babies, right? And I do a thing, and I'm not kidding. What does this say? It says,
we got this.
We got this. So what happens when you have a little baby in your arms, right? You're thinking, we got this, little one, right? And so what are you doing with your head? You're automatically in empathy, right? Hey. So when you're talking with somebody, and it's like, well, thanks for letting me know how you feel, Nicole. I'm just curious, what exactly are we comparing this to? And I didn't say, what are you comparing this to? I said, what are we comparing this to? Because I'm on your team.
Yeah.
You got it. And so these little nuances, when you stack all of these nuances together over and over, and we practice and we, again, multiple quality repetitions, you develop unconscious competence so that when you encounter this, and let's face it, the number of objections that you're average going to hear on average on products and services of $1,000 or more, you're going to, on average, hear 5 objections before you get to the yes. So if we do a great job of doing objection prevention up front, we can decrease those objections. Again, objections are normal, so you're still going to hear some. Then it's a question of, hey, can we get to a point where we can handle those objections so well that we can still get to the win-win outcome of getting our guest to transition to become a customer? Does that make sense?
Yeah, complete sense. I feel like
Yeah,
I've learned a lot today with just the body language stuff. This is
it's
great.
huge.
I'm
It's
excited to
massive.
practice it out. And the
It's
cool
gonna be
thing
great. It's
is,
fun.
if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, go to the YouTube and watch this podcast on YouTube so that you can see Joe
Hmm.
talking about it, and then do an experiment with yourself. You test it out and see how it goes and see how much more comfortable you feel as you go into these conversations. So I'm excited about this. This is great. These
It's
little
fun.
tips.
Oh, they add up. They add up. Like I'll give you an example, Nicole, when you're talking about body language. Say somebody, and I'm sure you've ever heard that you might have heard this. And I'll ask the listener this. Has anybody ever said, is that your best price? Does this ever go on sale? What kind of deal can you give me? Like the negotiation is part of doing business. And I'm not suggesting that you have to discount. There's a whole series on how we do this. What I am suggesting, however, is having policy. And body language plays into this, right? Because some people do the same thing. There's a two-step process, right? What kind of deal can you give me, Nicole? Well, I can appreciate you're looking for a good deal. I'm saying I'm giving you a good deal with me, right? What I want to do is change my body language, right? The two-step process is I can appreciate you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? So, for example, it's not I can appreciate you're looking for a good deal. It's I can appreciate you're looking for a good deal. And I'm exaggerating this for the sake of the exercise.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is people try this on their own and they bobblehead and they're like, oh my God, right? So it takes a little bit of practice and we're here to help guide that. This is the whole, we got this piece. So it's like, hey, again, a little, like just a small frown without being angry. It's like, Nicole, I can appreciate you're looking for a good deal. I'm just curious, what exactly did you have in mind? And here's what's interesting, because some people are saying, when somebody asks me for a deal, I always tell them no. Well, let me ask you, how do you feel when somebody says no to you?
Not good.
Not good. So why would I want to create that resistance? And then when I ask a little bit further and I go, let me ask you, if somebody said to you, listen, if you could throw in that t-shirt, I'll do it now. Would you throw in a t-shirt for somebody to buy, let's say, $10,000 worth of something from you? Who wouldn't, right?
Right.
So you can't tell me that you don't have a policy somewhere in your brain set. The question is it written down? Because it's not just about you, it's also for your team. Yeah. And I've experienced this, for example, in the bicycle industry, the electric bike industry. Somebody was buying all in just shy of $14,000 worth of electric bicycles, 2 of them. Okay. With accessories. And as we're writing it up, I was training in a store at the time, and the husband says, so hey, by the way, am I getting a deal on this? And instead of saying, yeah, I just said, well, I appreciate you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? He goes, well, can you throw in those 2 water bottles? And I stopped the negotiation right there. Like, of course, right? So I said, hey, I can appreciate you're looking for this deal. And what you're saying is, if I throw in the 2 water bottles, we're going to continue on, correct? He said, yes. I said, great. Congratulations. You're going to love it. And that was it. He wasn't going to ask for more because I made it clear that we're doing it here. Remember, what a lot of people do is they say, can you throw in the water bottles? And what do a lot of salespeople do? Yep, I can do that. What's the thing that your guest is going to do now? Well, can you also throw in this? Can you also throw in that? No. So these are all tactics that work to help you. You're allowed to make money, everybody. Do not feel bad about being profitable. Because the last thing I want, and Nicole, I'll ask you this, and this goes to everybody who's listening too. Have you ever felt resentment towards somebody who actually dug into you for a better price and you unfortunately buckled? Have you ever felt that way towards someone?
I think the initial is like, man, I'm providing a great value here. Like, why are you asking me to give you a discount? Like, no one else gets a discount.
Right. So this right. And so what happens with objections, and you're explaining it really well. When emotions go up, intelligence goes down. And emotions are normal. We're human beings. Before we got on to the recording, you and I were discussing, that I was in this space of overwhelm, and I spoke with my mindset coach to be able to change that. And I went into a conversation with my very own wife, and I went in saying, "Hey, Shauna, I have to apologize, not because I was angry at her, and it wasn't her fault. It was my fault because I didn't set a boundary." And what we need to do is we need to set boundaries on ourselves in the sense of, I can't allow my emotional response to then turn my intelligence off, and then I say something stupid and regret it. And that's the whole thing. When somebody says, I want a deal, or even if they say it's expensive, sometimes we go, what are you comparing it to? And that creates,
now it's a little aggressive.
Right. So, or you know what, typically compared to what? Right? What are you comparing it to? So if you take the practice, and what we do is we want to practice it with you so that you get to a point like, so you have, everybody listening, you better be coming to Nashville, because we're going to practice it of so many different ways so that you're going to develop this emotional resilience so that when you do hear it, you'll know what to say and how to say it. And you're going to be calm, cool, and collected and still get to the win-win outcome. That's the critical component here. So objections are normal. You've got to be able to have that body language. It doesn't mean that you won't feel emotion. That's normal, right? Somebody says, I can't afford it. The fear of, oh my God, I have to go speak to my spouse about this. I got to go speak to my girlfriend. I got to go speak to my husband. I got to go, they're giving up their power. And people do that. Sometimes it's BS. Sometimes they're throwing somebody else under the bus. And how do we feel as quote unquote salespeople? Most people just give up. And no, I don't want you to. I want to show you ways to be able to draw people back in where they feel really good about making a decision. Because people, especially in the nutrition, and again, into the same tenets, the nutrition, the fitness, and the accountability space that Nicole's talking about, people are giving us objections because they're afraid to make the wrong decision. They're also afraid to make the right decision. Because what happens is they've made mistakes in the past. Making the right decision now is that they're actually committing to change.
Right. Yeah.
It's huge.
You're 1,000% right. I mean, so many nuggets here. I think just the body language piece is going to be a game changer for everyone listening. And I think it would be super interesting if you do these sales calls on Zoom, like watch a recording and just watch to see how you're doing as like a self-evaluation, right? So then you can kind of see, which is always a good experiment.
We record everything in the dojo. This way people can go back and they can watch their performance, or the black belt in the room, the sales sensei in the room. Let's say, for example, Nicole, they'd be like, okay, Nicole, we're at 42 minutes in. You just did this. That's the way I want you to do it. Go back and watch the replay. And it's amazing what it does for people, because now of course you can fast forward to your own section and you're in there with other people. So you're hearing it over and over and over again. And it's getting those repetitions in. It's game changing. It's absolutely game changing.
The whole idea of being trained by a sales expert is will be game changing for every single person listening to this. Because then you stop guessing what you're doing and you start feeling really confident in the service and the value that you're really providing. And ultimately, that's going to allow you to have a greater impact in your community. One final question for you.
Sure.
Quite a few members in HSN, gym owners, have moved to this higher ticket option. So what I'm selling for $400 per month, so $1,600 for 3 months, or $1,200. My math is really good. Okay. $1,200 for 3 months. Someone else might be selling for $3,500 or $5,000. It's literally the same service.
Yeah.
What changes in the sales process?
Well, I mean, obviously, and I love the idea of high ticket. In fact, we have something that's called the High Ticket Sales University, HTSU. Okay. We're the only university on the planet that I know of that offers 100% money back delighted guarantee. So unlike, I said this to you earlier, unlike other universities where they're going to give you your diploma and wish you well so that you can go work at a coffee shop, we're going to say, if you're not delighted, I'll give you your money back 100%. And high ticket, there's a variety of reasons why it works. Number one is those that pay attention. So they because it's a little scary for them. Oh my God, I'm making this decision here and I'm investing a little bit more. Yeah, because it's going to help them. And that's really a mindset shift. The ability to have what you mentioned earlier, the confidence in the way that you communicate with someone, this is going to build confidence that your guest is going to have in you. And part of that is, again, when I come back to that 38% tone, what is my ability to have a conversation without stuttering, pauses that I'm trying to find the words, and you can see the eyes going up to try to find them. If you don't have that ability where you can eliminate but, stuttering, or excessively long pauses, what happens to your level of authority and expertise? It drops. And so what I want for you, the listener, is I want you to be so confident. And again, confidence isn't cocky. Confidence is such where you know in your heart, you can feel it. And so that the thought comes out, because this is what I call alignment. I'm building alignment. We talk about this thing called law of attraction. Attraction doesn't happen unless I'm aligned with how I feel in my body and how I think. And then all of a sudden there's this magnetism that happens where people want to be aligned with you. And when you're delivering what you believe is bang on for them, guess what happens? They're delighted. And when your customers are delighted, you get referrals. Zero cost per lead people coming in that are just doing what we call lay down. It's like, yeah, I'm laying the money down because my friends got these results and I want them to. And so it comes with confidence. Does that make sense?
1,000%.
Yeah.
And I think if more people had a system, going back to everything that we talked about, the confidence would be there. I think so many times, especially when we talk about a gym, adding nutrition and accountability, and then kind of adding that as the front end offer, we haven't properly trained the person who's doing the front end offer to actually sell the nutrition coaching program. They're going to go and guide people to what they feel the most confident with, which is just the fitness option. So,
right.
I would look back at your numbers and see, are new people getting started with nutrition, fitness, and accountability? What is the percentage? If you have multiple people, how is each individual person doing? And, some people might need a little bit more training. One of the things I always tell people that are coming on board with our program is, I want the person that's doing the front end offer to be your first test client. I want your head coaches to be your test clients, because you're so much more better equipped to be able to talk about something from experience than trying to remember some bullet points.
Yep. Yeah. And it's interesting that you say that, because everybody who's a black belt that works for me, either part-time or full-time, they've all had to come in and do the program. They've had to earn their black belt. So it's interesting because I've had other sales coaches come to me and say, hey man, I want to come and work with you. And my answer to them is, well, that's fantastic. Let's get you signed up into the program. And the majority of them, because there's ego involved, it's like, well, I don't need the training. And it's like, well, the culture that I want to create requires you to do that. And I'll ask you this, Nicole, if you want to really master something, what should you do?
Practice it a ton.
To a point where you get to teach it.
Yeah.
Like that. When you have to teach something, that's when you've really mastered it. And so when you, just like you said, you get your own team to do what it is that you do, they understand all of the nuance. They understand the reasons why behind it. And we have to start with why. Like, why am I doing this? Why is my program so important to others? The why gets me out of bed in the morning. Then it's all of the tactical pieces. And again, I keep coming back to this idea that people say, what should I say when? What should I say when? Listen, we have all the scripts in the world for every objection around. We can give you those. That's not a problem. That's 7% of the problem. 93% of the solution is tone and body language. That's where confidence and authority and assertiveness are built.
And empathy, right?
Absolutely.
I think about just even conversations with your spouse, 100% of the time, it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
It's funny because my wife will say, stop SOSing me, because she knows I do it now. Like, it's completely unconscious. It's like, it would be something to the effect of, let's say she wanted coffee after dinner. And in the morning I would have said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go pick up the oat milk. Don't worry, Shauna. And then it's dinner time. Oat milk wasn't picked up. true story. So then it's like, she opens the fridge and she goes, I thought you were getting the oat milk. And I would immediately go, oh my God, Shauna, I'm so sorry. What can I do right now to make everything okay? And, right. It's like acknowledge and then ask the question. And then you're SOSing me right now. Can you stop doing that? Shauna, I will absolutely stop. What do you want me to do instead? It's like
acknowledging ask.
Right. And we joke about it because she knows. So yeah, the kids, by the way, our children have no clue. And we diffuse so many situations just using this approach, because the kids will come up with their own answers because we're asking the right questions.
That's literally the foundation of a client-centered approach with nutrition coaching too. Like they're going to come up with a better solution than you are telling them something that's worked for other people. I love this full circle moment here. So many amazing things that you talked about today. I'm excited for people to get connected with you in person in Nashville, but for people, it's only going to be February when this releases. So there's a few months. What if people want to get connected with you before meeting you in person at our live event in Nashville?
I would like to extend an invitation for anybody who's listening. For anyone who's listening, I'm going to put this in the chat. And of course, this is we'll make sure that it's available in the show notes or if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm going to put a link where you can come in and visit. Just come in for a dojo visit. So you can actually come into a session, because we do sessions kind of like what you're doing in your gyms. You have different sessions and different, like if you're going into a spin class, my wife, Shauna, and I, by the way, we met at a 6 a.m. spin class warm up for when that's how we met. We met on spin bikes. So it wasn't a spin class. It was a warm up for a workout. Anyways, so you guys get to come in and visit the dojo for free. Come in and literally come in for practice. You can come and experience it. You can talk to some of the other members. We do different sessions throughout the week. So some of you might have, hey, we've got sessions on Mondays at 8 and 12 and 2. This is the same thing. So we'll set up a time that's going to be good for your schedule. Just come in, practice, learn some stuff. And then if you wanted to learn more about the program, then you can ask us at that point in time. This is not a sales pitch. This is more of a just come in and check it out and have some fun. Because for me, there's 4 things that I tell my team. First thing is I want to make sure that we're making a difference. Number 2 is we need to have fun. I can't tell you like how you and I were laughing today. We're having fun. We're laughing all the time in the dojo because it's a safe place. So yes, people make mistakes. They screw up, but better to screw up in the dojo than screw up on a sales conversation for real.
Right.
Right. So it's make a difference, have fun, keep growing and get paid. Because it's okay to have high ticket and get paid, you guys, because it allows you to, and it affords you to give back. And it gives people again, it's the gumption that they'll have that I've made a commitment. If you were giving away your nutrition programs for next to nothing, or your fitness programs for next to nothing, people wouldn't take it seriously. The results just wouldn't be there. So the psychological aspect of this is so critically important. High ticket is actually good for them, and it's good for you and your business. So take that to heart. So come and visit. Come for fun. It'd be a blast.
I love it. So we'll put that link in the show notes as well as in the blog or under the YouTube recording for this podcast episode.
Yeah.
Joe, I'm so excited to have you in Nashville. We're going to have a blast.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
We're going to help people feel really confident with the sales process. And at the end of the day, if you want to impact more people, it's essentially the sales process, no matter where your clients are. For existing members, if you're trying to get them upgraded to nutrition and fitness, you're having a sales conversation with them. For sure. New people coming in, if you want them to get started on nutrition, fitness, and accountability, because that's the best option for them to reach results, it's a sales conversation. For past members who maybe are not a part of your gym anymore, but might take you up on nutrition, again, a conversation with them to guide them to the option that best suits them. So your expertise in all of this is going to help all the gym owners and coaches and managers in our HSN family feel so much more confident. So I'm so excited to continue this conversation and work with you more this year.
Same. Yeah, let's go make a difference, people.
I hope you enjoyed that episode with Joe. We have all dedicated our lives to helping people transform their health and their lives through nutrition, fitness, and accountability. If you are leading your sales process, if you're doing the free intros and you're not 1,000% confident that someone will see the best results through nutrition, fitness, and accountability, if you're not 1,000% confident in your process with getting people signed up for nutrition, you're going to limit the amount of people that opt in for that higher ticket nutrition, fitness, and accountability offering. And the truth is, they're not going to see the results as fast as they want if they don't have that support. Feeling confident in the sales process is vital to building a successful nutrition program. We would absolutely love for you to join us in Nashville, Tennessee, July 13th to the 15th at the Gym Accelerator Summit. This summit, Joe's going to be leading a sales training and providing real-time feedback, giving all of us the opportunity to practice and refine our skills so that we can feel much more confident in our sales process. No matter what you are doing in the business, whether you're a nutrition coach that doesn't necessarily do the free intros, you are doing the sales process when you're converting people to ongoing coaching through after a challenge or even after an initial 3-month initial front-end offer program. So we want to all feel comfortable with this process. I truly hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode. If you're looking to connect with Joe, definitely click the link in the show notes and you can connect with him. We've got all of his links and social profiles there. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. Leave us a review so that you don't miss this podcast. Those reviews really help this podcast reach more people. And ultimately, our goal is to empower gym owners and coaches to build a successful nutrition coaching program where you finally feel confident helping your members through nutrition, fitness, and accountability. We'll see you back here next week.